Hello, it is Monday the 10th of September and we are slap bang in the middle of an international break. The dreaded time of the season, with them coming stupidly quickly after a season starts, I must say. You seem to get into a bit of a flow. You get a month of football and it sort of gets prized away from you. You sort of know how you feel now when kids have a toy taken away from them, don't you? It's like, well, no, I don't want it to go. No, gives it back. Anyway, so what I thought we'd do is go through the topics regarding England v Spain, and then we can also have a flick through England, seeing as though it seems to be the time to talk about them while we are on an international break. So basically, News Now just filters any article that's published online with your keyword. So if you type in Liverpool, go down to Liverpool, it just bring up anything that's had anything to do with the club. Obviously, as a tag, player, coach, quotes, interviews, training, things like that. It's a good way for you to be able to always keep up with what players and managers have said. It's really quite a useful tool, if I'm honest. However, we aren't really looking at Liverpool today. We're going to have a look at the England game. There's quite a lot that's been said, to be honest. A lot of it's to do with Luke Shaw, obviously, and get well soon, mate. Never nice to see a massive head injury, but it seems to be all right. Concussions are a bit of a thing in football at the moment. There was the appalling way that Liverpool tried to cover up Carices in the Champions League final last season, which was, it was just a poor goalkeeping performance. It's one that hasn't given him a future at the club, let's be honest, but I digress. We aren't talking about Liverpool, we are talking about England. So, like I said, it is Luke Shaw mainly being spoken about, as well as Dele Alli, who it's been reported now has pulled out of the England squad to face Switzerland at the King Power. I won't say whether or not I hope that means he's going to be at the Liverpool game. Nope, not going to say it. Spain Star asked David De Gea for Luke Shaw's number after his injury at Wembley. Southgate is right about England's limitations. Can have a look at that one. There were some fairly harsh reminders of where England really are in the global pantheon during their defeat to Spain on Saturday night. Not one of England's midfielder were a patch on their Spanish counterparts in terms of technique, close control or pinpoint incisive passing. England's players are some of the best in the world, of course, but when it comes to such precision, it was clear they are still some way off. And that is primarily because they don't really have that player to unlock a defence. We should be looking at, again injured, Adam Lallana, Jack Wilshere, Loftus-Cheek. I think he's a good outlet. He's strong. He can drive the ball forward. If we are able to pinpoint, if we are able to find that pass that unlocks a defence, why don't we try and muscle his way through? And Loftus-Cheek showed in the World Cup that he does have that in his locker. He's a very, very good player when it comes to driving with the ball forward. Reading on, there must be something in the hotter climes and the siestas because Spain have created those kinds of players for fun over the last 2 decades, while in England nobody can find one, despite the self-proclaimed most competitive top flight in football. They say the most competitive top flight in football, which is of course correct. The Premier League is the grandest stage of football. It's where a hell of a lot of players want to play, where the ones that seem to have the biggest drive want to play, let's put it that way. I mean, we have had certain players leave the Premier League who have gone on to join clubs where they may not be as big a part of the side in search of trophies, which I can totally understand. At the end of the day, it is a short career. You have to look at what you've won at the end of it, whereas opposed to, I was there for 10 years, but didn't really win out, did I? So you can see why England don't really, because a lot of these players are committed to the teams. What England manager Gareth Southgate would give for Thiago Alcantara, Sergio Busquets or Saul Niguez, and Spain started all three. And for Southgate, there is not necessarily an obvious game-changing midfielder on the horizon, as he attempts to live up to the natural hype of reaching a World Cup semi-finals back in the summer, even if youth coaches across the country are trying hard to produce them. See, now, he has a good point, but did England overachieve in the World Cup? because we have to be realistic, really. Did England overachieve in the World Cup? I'd like to say that they did a little bit. They didn't play... They played very well at times, but there were also times when they didn't look as though... I mean, they didn't have the greatest shot chances, did they? They didn't really create that many open chances during open play. They became set-piece specialists. And if that's your one outlet for goals, then you should be concerned. Definitely be concerned. And I think this links back to England not really having that creative attacking midfielder. But, alas, it's something that they can work on. You know, there will be players there, I believe, that can become that player. Bosch relieved by Shaw's recovery from collision. England team are still learning on the job, says Jordan Henderson, who had, in my opinion, a very poor game the other night. Jordan Henderson was all smiles afterwards. The midfielder had endured a tough time during England's defeat to Spain on Saturday and was substituted before the end. But as he spoke in the bowels of Wembley, almost every remark finished with a grin. He goes on to say, overall, I thought in the second half we were better. Was one such moment. As the game went on, we created more chances and we were disappointed not to get the equalising goal that was disallowed. Let's talk for another time. There is a lot to improve on, but also a lot of positives to take. Then out came the full beam. Perhaps there was a private reason for Henderson's happiness, or maybe he's just an easygoing guy, but it was not difficult to find his attitude reassuring. England had been beaten by Luis Enrique's new look side, but there was no shame in defeat, especially not if the necessary lessons are learned. Henderson goes on to say that they do feel confident. We still feel like we are learning. We have a lot of young players in the team. You want to play against the best teams and the best players to learn from the experiences. Spain are definitely that. We will look back on the game at what we can do better and what we did well. Then move on to the Switzerland game, which is another good test. Which will be, as Switzerland, 6-0 overnight? Are looking a very good team. Let's be honest. I mean, I think Shaqiri. Go on, Shaqiri, that little mini tank there. Scored from what were at free kick, and I think he had an assist. Anyway, the article goes on to say, in repeating messages about learning and improving, Henderson chimed with the manager. The smiling Liverpool captain has, like the rest of this England squad, signed up fully to Gareth Southgate's project. Both parties have a very recent benchmark from which to draw confidence. Furthermore, England may have lost 3 competitive matches in a row, each against teams they consider their rivals, but they have given each of them a game. The margins are not huge. Anyway, this is a short video, the first of what I hope will be many videos that I can upload. I do enjoy talking about football. It is a passion of mine, and as you can tell, I am using very basic equipment here. I am just recording what's on my phone with a voice recorder. But if this is something that you feel you would like to listen to more, or if there's some more content you feel that you'd like, then please let me know. I do want this to grow. It would be nice, and let's see where we can go. Thank you for listening. Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.